This podcast is brought to you by ESET, the global leaders in cybersecurity. ESET business solutions range from endpoint and mobile security to encryption, two-factor authentication, and advanced threat detection. And they've just introduced their new endpoint security management platform called ESET Protect. The ESET Protect business security bundles take security to a whole new level. For small businesses and MSPs, I recommend ESET Protect Advanced to cover all your security bases. ESET Protect Advanced includes endpoint protection, cloud sandboxing for advanced threat detection and prevention, full disk encryption, file server security, and cloud-based console. Right now, you can save 20% with this limited time offer. So you're not only getting best-in-class cloud-managed protection against advanced attacks, you're enjoying a significant discount. Not yet convinced? Don't worry. You can also get a free trial and an interactive demo at business.eset.com/radio. Get 20% off ESET's new business cybersecurity bundle, ESET Protect Advanced, at business.eset.com/radio.
How's that a good dose of India before the morning meeting? Right? I saw my ears; she was bobbing her head. Yeah, that was that movie was really, really good. Really, really, really good. So teacher's like, this guy, he acts like you, or you act like him, one or the other. It was facts. Pretty much every decision he made, I would have made. The good ones and the bad ones, I would have. Pretty much everyone. Everyone. Lord knows I've got my share of bad decisions, let me tell you. All right, so I want to share a few things from current events. Just a lot. You want to be on top of everything. Now the question becomes, how do you keep your company on top of everything, and then how do we keep this company on top of everything? There are a few mistakes that we make. I'll tell you Eastern mistakes and I'll tell you Western mistakes, because I'm talking about both hemispheres today. An Eastern mistake would be support, right? Staying in support, not enough ownership. A Western mistake would be thinking everyone wants to be like the West. It's a very common Western mistake. Thinking everyone wants to be like the West. I'm reading a book right now. It's actually very enlightening. I read a lot of foreign books, and I read a lot of books on foreign stuff. I always I always account for someone else's biasness. I understand every time I read anything, someone has an angle. You can't write anything down if you don't have an angle. As a matter of fact, the only reason you wrote something down is because you have an angle. Even if that angle is to be unbiased, you have an angle. That's the whole point of creating an argument. An argument says, here's my side, period. That is a fundamental understanding of an argument. Yes, the woman over there gets it. The fundamental understanding of argument. So as soon as you express your opinion, I'm sorry, that was aimed over there. You're saying, well, here's my point. Nothing wrong with that. I'm reading a book. I'm reading a lot of books on China right now. A lot of books on China. And one of them is called, I'll show it to you. Show it to you real quick. 100.
Did you like that thing I sent you about China?
Sure did.
That amazing?
Yeah.
I mean, that was incredible.
Yeah. You can tell about it if you want to.
Well, it talks about where China's ahead on infrastructure, airports, roads, trains, you name it. I mean, they're just kicking our butts. And the end of it says, you better learn Mandarin.
Yeah, hear that? You should, because you know what? It's just my call. By 2049, 2050, and most of us will still be alive, world may look very differently. They're very ahead. They're putting up major cities in days. They're building. It's just incredible. Anyway, so I'm reading a lot of books. Here's the book I'm reading right now. I'm almost done. I'll be done today. This is a book I'm reading right now. The 100-Year Marathon. China's secret strategy to replace America as a global superpower. It's fantastic, fantastic book. I am about 70% finished. I'm probably about 80% finished. I'll be done before the afternoon is over. No, we got the call in the morning, the 9 o'clock. So I'll be done sometime before the evening. That's for sure. Fantastic book. I like reading these things because I'm trying to give you some context before I just share what I want to share. How do I keep this company above all men's arrogance? Because that's exactly what it is, right? There is nothing else, right? There's nothing else. How do you keep it above all men's arrogance? My arrogance, our arrogance, her arrogance, their arrogance, country's arrogance, capital. It just doesn't. It's all arrogance. There is nothing else. When you think about it in a negative term, there's nothing else. How do I do that? And there's a lot of things happening now. Let's talk about evictions. Evictions are getting ready to clobber us in a major way. And it's going to affect this company. COVID-19 didn't have much of an effect, but there is no way evictions are not going to affect this company. It's impossible. Here's what's happening. We have the most perfect storm. We got a brew of all the perfect storms you can ever imagine. For one, the world is in trouble. But since it's election years in many places, you're not going to get that story. But how is it possible that more jobs have ever been lost in the history of mankind? Can anyone think of another time? You probably can. I can't. Phil, can you? I can't think of any more global job loss in my life.
When the Israelites left Egypt with Moses, they lost. Yeah.
Okay, so according to Phil, we're in biblical. we're in times of biblical proportions. Okay, so
that makes me feel a lot better.
Yeah.
Thank you, Phil. That makes me feel a lot better.
Yeah, we're basically when the whole empire no longer becomes a global empire anymore. There, right? Biblical proportions is where we are. Wow, what a great example, Phil. So that's the closest you can get for sure. Never seen it, but they're all telling us it's going to be okay. No, you should laugh because it is a laughable. It is laughable. Now, I'm not preaching doom and gloom. I'm just saying how do we adjust when they are adjusting, but then telling us keep moving forward. Think about it. They are. None of their mansions are open. Not just my governor, like none of them. They're not. There's no politicians shaking hands and kissing babies. There was a mass exit of CEOs earlier this year. Am I the only one that saw that? CEOs, bunch of, I can't even say Fortune 500, Fortune 10 companies was just exiting like crazy. This massive exit. You've got Amazon made $75 billion the first 3 months of 2020. It's amazing. And here's the deal. And that was maybe 15 COVID days are in there, and that was the beginning. It's probably going to be $100 billion by the time the next quarter come out. Actually, no, it's going to be way more than that because Amazon packages have not stopped coming to doors around the world during the pandemic. It's amazing. It's been amazing to watch how, in fact, they've become more trusted than ever. If anything, it's kind of like Phil Jerry in the 80s when Tylenol had that guy Went put cyanide or whatever it was in the Tylenol, and the Tylenol's great response made everybody go, oh, well, we just want Tylenol for the rest of our lives. That's pretty much what Amazon did, right?
I'd like to state right now that Jerry and I had nothing to do with that.
That's, that's on the
Thank you,
record.
Phil.
Yes, that's on the record. On the record. So there's a lot of stuff going on, but evictions are going to be the thing that punches us in the ribs, because here's the storm. You got some, and I'm going to talk American here because I don't know evictions across the world, but you have some states protecting, some not, but it's not real. Nothing's a real protection, because when you have, because you can still do all the filing proceedings. So the moment they say you can evict now, it's not going to be that 30-day process. It's already going to be done. A lot of people are going to lose their jobs, lose their houses because they can't pay rent. You know it's bad when people who do not look like me are marching saying cancel rent. That's when it's really bad. It's really bad when people who are accustomed to making six figures, it's $80,000 a year, saying cancel rent. You know it's hurt. People are hurting because most people, 33% of the country pays rent, and if you pay rent, you probably are below the average income, because that's kind of what happens when you pay rent. Wages haven't gone up. Probably around September, I've been looking, reading, researching, you're going to have this snowball effect to where everybody is going to be losing their houses, and we're going to go from, I was watching, I posted a clip. There was a guy on Last Week Tonight. He said this, I don't remember his name because it was a clip, but he said we're going to go from a pandemic problem to a homelessness problem. Amazing to think that we're getting ready to have a homelessness problem in the richest country in the world. Homelessness was always cool when it was just veterans like me, but now it's going to be your grandmother. That's a big difference. Okay, that's most of the homeless population is veterans. That's a big difference. Very big difference. So evictions are going to happen. So how do we keep us ahead of evictions? We got a lot of stuff in place, but I can guarantee you, Deanna, we're gonna do something. I don't know, but we are gonna have to do something. Got plenty of stuff in place. Maybe we don't have to do anything. Maybe everything we got works, but some of our marketing, or I don't know. I haven't figured it out. I've been dealing with this problem for about 72 hours. We're going to have to do something that tells people that we care about eviction. And if you follow these steps, you will have a better chance of reversing your homeless situation. But then we got to think about it. Will they have access to Wi-Fi and or battery power? Because you can go to the public library, but can you charge your phone or your device to take our classes? I don't know. Go ahead, Deanna. You want to say something?
I think one of the biggest things to help them is to really get them to understand. They need to dial down, because you have some people whose lifestyles have not changed. They still have all this extravagance because they think they're safe. But if they start minimalizing things, and then you teach them like you've taught us, minimize what you have, and then what the income that you have from that, do this with it, so you can sustain yourself for a certain amount of time before it gets rough. Give yourself time to build whatever it is you're building and sustain yourself. Because I know me personally, when I first retired, I wasn't fully following your teachings when I first retired. And I only had enough to survive for 2 months. And that's in knowing I was going to retire and I only had enough to survive for 2 months. So those who don't know that they will be involuntarily retiring, I can only begin to imagine the preparedness for it.
No doubt. I respect all that. There's a whole side of America that would really love for you to say that, especially you being black and saying that too. They would love for you to continue saying that as well, because you're not accounting for the fact that we suck and we're not increasing wages. So there's a whole side of America that would love for you to keep saying that. Yes, there's a whole side that would love for you to say that. They would love for you to keep saying that, and you're not wrong though. There is a lot of that is that. A lot of it is that. This is what I like about business. Everything you said is right. So then the next logical thing that you come after what Deanna said is, well, whose responsibility is it? The people's responsibility if they don't know, or should the government shield from some of that responsibility just in case? And we're never going to win that argument ever, but business always can. Business can always act like government for its people, not the government, but its customers. We already do this, but because when you business, you can do what you want. You can create, oil exec can say everyone gets a $20,000 bonus because of whatever, right? You can do that. You can do all that stuff. Just know that if I'm thinking about evictions and how it's going to impact this company starting September, I'm also thinking about what happens when the kids go back to the petri dishes that we call schools. Because I don't know if y'all have ever known kids, but they have the worst diseases. Yes, it's that, if you ever want to get sick, watch your grandkids. The first and second week of school, watch your grandkids. It don't take long. It doesn't take long. They come back with the monster diseases. Them diseases have muscles on them. Those diseases have muscles on them. So you got the whole going back to school. How would that affect? And then the evictions. So you go, well, Antonio, it's not really your job to worry about it. It's not. However, our customers are going to be there, right? You understand what I'm saying? Like, our customer's going to be there. I can't save it. I can't fix it. But how do we go with the flow? Let me say what I'm trying to say. Let me say it better. Let me say that my teachings that I've given you. Once September happens, once all the evictions happen, once all the kids, I don't want to say all the kids get sick, but once, we find out, oh my God, we should have did this, whatever that is, then attention, there's going to be a new form of attention directed in a new area. Does everyone agree with that? Like, flash your cameras. Okay, good. And I want to jump in front of that attention this month before I'm trying to do it reactively in October. Does it make more sense now? How do we in June react to what they'll be reacted to? Because let me tell you, it's going to be some terrible Christmases for a lot of people. And how do we say, how do we package, hey, it's December time, it's the most wonderful time of the year, we can help, or something like that? Go ahead, Phil.
Well, maybe one of the things we can do is ask our clients and our potential clients, what is your backup plan?
That's good.
We know what the answer is in most cases. I don't have a backup plan. That's what we have to offer you. We have to offer you a backup plan.
That's good. That's real good, Phil. That's real good. That's really good. Do a series of videos on that too. They ain't got to be courses. Just, that's really good. Teach people. Don't have a backup plan? Watch this video from the Humor Consultants. You'll be blessed. Something like that, right? Say, whatever. Hook, story, pitch. Good stuff. Fantastic. Fantastic. Let's go to the East Coast now. Now, where my Indians at? I need my Indians, because y'all got to know this. But boy, was I shocked when I saw it. I was shocked. I was super shocked. I just couldn't believe it. I've been following, but I was just like, what? India bans 59 Chinese apps, including TikTok and WeChat, after deadly border crash. Government cites national security and privacy concerns, saying decisions aims to ensure safety over sovereignty of Indian cyberspace. Country has an estimated 120 million TikTok users, making it the video sharing app's biggest international market. Oh man, we gotta talk. Oh man, I don't mean to smile, because the border clash was terrible. But wow, the impact of this, the border clash. India and China are, well, do one of y'all want to explain it so I don't seem like the foreigner talking about? Yeah, right. You want to, one of y'all want to explain the border conflict right now happening between a lot. Either one, Shaker, Satish.
So there's a region in the northeast above Uttar Pradesh, Nepal, and then Tibet, and then there's Bhutan, and then there is the Seven Sisters, which is the Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura. That land is known as the Seven Sisters, and there's a little piece of land which connects the entire rest of India with the Seven Sisters, and that is called as the Chicken Neck. So a lot of people are also trying to strangle that chicken neck. So there's a lot of tribal people who have been, their minds have been brainwashed, and whatnot. So the Chinese have, and the Chinese territory goes ahead all the way up to the North Jammu and Kashmir. Yeah, that Aksai Chin. You see, Aksai Chin. That's the place for the left. Yeah, that area. Yeah, so very recently the Indian government, so that Jammu and Kashmir, the entire northern region was under contention between Jammu Kashmir as a separate state. There was a different constitution, there was a different flag, there was a whole lot of different treatment for the Jammu and Kashmir till August 2019, when Government of India they decided to do away with the special status that Jammu Kashmir had enjoyed for so many years, and they said that you have to now be a part of India. So they, through the constitutional tools, they abrogated that article, and they said Jammu Kashmir is now a part of India, and that part is disputed. That Aksai Chin territory is disputed. And then it goes further to the left, the Shaksam Valley, the northern area. Yeah, that's the Leh Ladakh area. The border disputes, the border skirmishes in the last 2 months that have happened are in that Leh Ladakh area. So that is the area where there's a lot of Chinese people, walking all over, building bridges, building roads, and infiltrating a couple of kilometers, inching in meters. Over the couple of 50, 60 years, those meters became kilometers. And then suddenly India wakes up and realizes, oh no, the line of actual control was somewhere else, but Chinese have gone far ahead inside the Indian territory. And that was the border skirmishes all about. So, and of course, the belief is, every time India wants, it has a little bit of Pakistan connection also. Every time India wants There's a wanted terrorist who has been committing acts of terrorism within India, the parliament attack, and then the very recent, just like 9/11, there was a September 26, I think November 26/11 that happened within India. Bombay, the Taj Mahal was attacked. So one of the terrorists had to be called out as an international terrorist, and the United Nations was being appealed by India, and China has been the long-standing ally of Pakistan. So the narrative that is being painted is and India has been using a lot of Chinese products over the last couple of years. So that book that you have been reading applies to India as well. And including the firecrackers, you won't believe there's a lot of traditional jewelry that used to be a part of a family tradition, family culture that would get handed down, that art would get handed down. Jaipur, Rajasthan, those were intricate jewelry. They would be embossed and embroidered in the saris and all that. Chinese started making that as well. So a lot of that has been, a lot of economy has been eaten away by the Chinese. So firecrackers during Diwali and a lot of things. So naturally, and our soldiers are bleeding out there. That money is being used by China to fund, their allies. So that kind of connection.
Yeah. Now, he explained it very well. Better than what I would have. Thank you for giving my card back. Yes. They bought breakfast with my card, and they love to use my money. Now, fantastic. Phil's clapping for you. Thank you very much. Yes. So I've been following all of that. Of course, he's explaining. But I have to, because guess what? We're in India, right? I don't have a choice. I don't have a choice. So we got two battlefronts going on. We got the American battlefront of evictions going on, plus whatever. And then the Indian border, which has canceled 59 Chinese apps, one being TikTok. Do you understand? I need you to get this here. It means when I do a class on TikTok, it will not apply to India. Go ahead, Satish.
Still applies because India has already come up with an app which is similar to TikTok.
That's smart. All right then. So I need you to send me that app. Get my Indian phone. Come cut my.
Did Satish develop that app? That's all I was going to say.
He probably did. Send it to both American and
Sure.
and my Indian phone, so just in case it tells
Antonio.
me. Yes.
Yeah. So since that's already happening in India, you know that when a trend starts someplace, it starts to grow moss, right? So which means that it's probably going to start spreading a lot of other places. So those people that are really depending on TikTok for their marketing and things like that, better start rethinking other ways to do it.
Absolutely right. And you're just adding more concrete to the foundation I'm laying. Exactly. Phil, I think you were going to say something.
Well, I remember I've been taught something, and I'm going to take this as an opportunity to see if it's true or not.
Mm-hmm.
That the Indians are one of the purest nationalities because of geography, because they've got mountain ranges all over the north, and then they're surrounded by water. So when you consider the history of mankind, the nation of India is one of the purest out there because of the geography, and other nations weren't that easy to infiltrate. Is that a true concept, or did I just hear that, at a bar and was told to me by Fred?
No, that is true. Yeah.
But
hey, first of all, there's a lot of truth that happens in bars, okay? A lot of it. Go ahead, Shake.
I was saying Phil, whatever Phil heard is true. It was known as the Indus Valley civilization. It comes from the river Sindhu. The Sindh region was it's now in Pakistan. Before the partition, it was a part of the larger India, and that therefore the Indian Ocean was known as the Hind Mahasagar. In English, it is called as Indian Ocean. So in Hindi or Sanskrit, it's called as Hind Mahasagar. That means the Indian Ocean. So people from this side of the land, from the Hind Mahasagar, were known as the Hindus. And those who could not pronounce the H word as Hind, they, they cut away the H and they started pronouncing it as Ind. So that is how Indus, the Hindu civilization became the Indus civilization. And that is how, over a period of time, the word Indus became corrupted and became India.
Wow.
That is incredible. That is incredible. And just like I learned not too long ago, Sino means China. But anyway, we'll come back to that. This is the implications here. We're talking trillions of dollars is what I've been, from evictions to TikTok and the WeChat. WeChat is the number one Chinese app. It could even be the number one app in the world because 1.3 billion people are using it in a country of 1.8 billion people. Now, Netsians, anyone ever heard of the term Netsians? Netsians? You probably wouldn't. Okay. Well, you probably would over there in India. Netsians. Netsians is China's version of millennials. Let's just say it that way. It's internet citizens combined, turned into one. The younger crowd of the Chris Holmes and Gerons of China. Okay, the 26 and the 20-year-olds and all that stuff like that, which pretty much don't use WeChat too much in itself. Pretty much don't use WeChat too much in itself. But that's, anyway, I know all this stuff. Let's go back to this real quick because we got to do anyway. This is, remember Grace was saying, well, I never know what you're going to talk about because you be bringing up current events and stuff. Yeah, because I'm always looking. You said it yesterday. This is a big deal because the largest country that was on TikTok was India. That's a huge revenue share. That let me tell you. Let me tell you the way I really want to say it. If you're gonna play with my money, I'm gonna retaliate. Did I make that make sense? Okay. Because I would expect retaliation, but just me talking. I'm just from the streets. But if you ask me, there ain't too much difference between government and streets. That's just my opinion, Jerry. But they sure act alike. One's just legal. One has just been demonized. But what the government do and what the streets do, I don't see much difference, Jerry. I don't see much difference. That's just me though. That's just me. And if you're looking for a fact, the chemical makeup between morphine and heroin are the same thing. Heroin's morphine's is a Schedule 1 drug, which means I could be a legal drug dealer and overcharge you. And heroin puts me in a private prison. But don't mind me, Jerry. I'll get my scotch later and be quiet.
It's a legal mob. That's all it is.
That's all it is. There's not much difference.
It's a legal mob.
Yeah, there's absolutely not much difference between the two. I can tell you for sure, and I never had any intentions. Well, I'll show you. There's this growing need, and Tempest is really, really big on this now. Cybersecurity. She's really, really huge. I thought I had. Okay. Real huge on cybersecurity and all this stuff like that. But all over this article is cybersecurity concerns. Cybersecurity. Can you see it? Is it here? You see it? It's all over. It's literally all over. We're gonna have to. Cybersecurity is a growing concern across the entire world, but it is a gaping hole in this company. You understand what I'm saying? There's a gaping hole in this company. So you're dealing with all this. Now, I have a solution for the cybersecurity part. That I have a solution for. The other thing I said, the evictions, I don't know yet. I do know and I don't know at the same time. And I hate when I have options. My personal opinion, I've said this before, I probably haven't said it in 5 or 6 years, but I've said it before. My personal opinion is having too many options is far worse than procrastination. Far worse. Procrastination is one thing, but when you have too many options, you don't do nothing. And if you do something, you don't do it at 100% because you're spreading your energy across 10 different things. Right? Just, yeah. Anywho, options are bad. Too many options. So I've got too many options in my head about these evictions, and it's keeping me paralyzed. My options are paralyzing me in my present because I can't decide on which one to do. And that indecision, according to Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, is on the road to poverty. All indecision is poverty. So when it comes to evictions, I have a poverty mindset of what to do with this company. And if you can't, self-awareness is a superpower. If you can't rationalize where the poverty is at in your own mindset, you won't be able to overcome it. So when it comes to the West and what to do about these evictions that's going to happen in October, I don't have a solution yet. Phil came up with a pretty good one. You know, I don't have a solid plan of attack. I guarantee you by the end of the week I will, that's for sure, because I'm doing nothing but thinking about it. But as of this moment, I don't. Satish, don't forget to send me the app here. Oh, he's already on it.
I sent it.
Oh, you sent it. Because he's smart. I just, as soon as I picked up the phone, I felt it vibrate. See, the problem is I got in this business.
Please remember to send. Please
remember
to send.
Thank you. Please remember. The problem is I keep jumping in Satish and Deanna business. That's the problem. If I just stay out of it, then I won't have to be corrected. Let me stay out my lane, Jerry, and stay in my expertise. How about that?
You know, Antonio, I've been following this real estate here in Las Vegas for a long time. And one of the things, we've been hit really hard every time we went through one of these things, of course, because of the nature of the business that's done here. But it's going to affect a lot of landlords and property owners really hard too. And that's what I'm seeing in the real estate community out here, is everybody is just scrambling and going, well, what are we supposed to do, right?
Yep.
And they'll delay a lot of the evictions and that sort of thing, but it's inevitable. I mean, it's just inevitable, and it's gonna hit. When we had the last downturn here, the last recession, I watched people that owned. We had a client that we were working with that owned 100 rental properties, and he had extended himself too far.
I did that.
And lost them all. Can you imagine 100 rental properties? So it's not just going to hurt the little guys; it's going to hurt the big guys. And of course, what happened here after that was they allowed all the big investment firms, the big Wall Street firms came in and bought up all that property and became landlords, and they made money hand over fist. The return was just incredible on what they were able to do with that. But what do they do now, right? When it's all empty.
That's going to be a big problem. Nevada has another problem. First off, I got 2 real estate companies in Nevada. I have one for massive income, one for passive income. Well, me and Deanna have 2 real estate companies in Nevada for obvious reasons. Because if you want to set up a serious LLC with Delaware benefits, but you don't want nobody to know that you got your, you go to Nevada, right? So I wouldn't even listen to me if I didn't know that, because right, if I didn't know that, Nevada is the place to go for real estate for sure. If y'all didn't know that, check into it. Just get you a lawyer to do it the right way, because right, follow experts. It's better to spend $750 to get properly protected than to spend $75,000 on a not malpractice, on a insurance, whatever, right? Whatever. Nevada has another problem coming. I've been watching, and I ain't said nothing because in fact, I was told to say something. I haven't said too much. The casinos are bringing back people. But they're bringing back people. The word on the streets is, okay, that the white folk in upper management are all coming back while all the labor force is not. So you fit to have a whole other problem on your hands. Go ahead, Jerry.
Oh yeah. No, they've brought back about well, their first goal was to bring back about, they said 25% of the folks, but you know all that's unionized here as well with the casinos.
Yeah.
So they're using it as an excuse to try to break the unions and try to put down. If you had anybody that didn't like you in your job, whatever you were doing, you're not going back to work.
Nope.
You know, I mean, it's that simple. You're going to have to go through the whole process again to try to get back in, and they're not. And the business isn't there, of course. So they really can't bring back everybody. I mean, some of these properties, it's thousands of people. MGM Grand, I think, is 7,000 or 8,000 people that it takes to run that place. And a lot of them are, low-level employees that are sweeping floors and making beds or whatever. And those people aren't going to go back to work anyway soon.
No. What you want to do is you want to make yourself irreplaceable as fast as possible. Let me tell you an uncomfortable truth that, let's talk about unions for a second so you can understand some of the stuff you got to deal with. Just uncomfortable truth. I didn't make this truth. This is historicity. So let's define history and historicity for a second so the stones don't get thrown at me. History was invented by, I forget his name. It's a Greek guy. Historitasius. Anyway, so after him, history. In layman's terms, you can do what you want with history. You can say, let's take the Confederate flag. You can say, this is heritage. You can say this is heritage, right? This is heritage, all that stuff. Got no problem with that. Just give me the debate. Or you can say, well, yeah, my slaves, right? No, it wasn't about slaves. But we know through written articles of succession that this was about slavery, right? So you can change history. Historicity says that South Carolina is only a state because it wanted to house slaves. That's historicity. You understand? History, you can say what you want. Historicity says the actual depiction of people and events. So now that we got this understood, unions. After, I don't even know how to, there's no respectable way to say this if you're going to be offended. So I just have to give you the historicity. Once black people, the labor force of the South, were freed so to speak. Now you have this understanding, well, holy crap, our labor force has all the skills. And if we are to be competitive, we need to, like if I had a slave, I didn't learn how to pick cotton or something like that, or maintenance. My job was to get up, wake my slave up, and you go, right? You understand? The labor force also had the skill trade. Does this make sense? This is historicity. Therefore, unions are birthed from protecting jobs for a set of people. That's the birth of unions. I understand that it is celebrated differently. There's a whole fantastic movie on Netflix with Robert De Niro right now. That, have y'all seen the movie? It's fantastic. Have you seen it? I know me and you watched it. Oh my God, I can't remember the name of it. It's literally about what's the name of the guy that disappeared and everybody, Jimmy Hoffa. Literally about Jimmy Hoffa, the unions and stuff. Yes, 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 yes. I understand all that stuff, and unions protect. No, 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 no. So if you're saying, oh yeah, that's a lot of this stuff is unionized, it's going to always be about protecting jobs for a set of people. Now, whether that set of people in the 21st century would be black or white, whatever, that's extremely debatable, and I wouldn't even go there. But it will always be about protecting people. Now, that we can say, protecting people from losing jobs. Therefore, to Jerry's point, if you are working class and can be replaceable, you should not expect no protections whatsoever because you're expendable. The Irishman, thank you. Fantastic movie too if you haven't watched it, by the way. Fantastic movie. You should not expect protection. This is why I exist. I exist. The way I share the light is to tell y'all you should probably stop thinking you're protected and go and create your own protections, what I call your own economy, so you can be a protection for other people. Equality must be made. It will never, in our system, the way we want it. I get it. Some of you are you're uber religious, you're uber this, or you're just older than me and you got calcified thinking. I get it. All that's cool. It's not going to stop the fact that the strong must come down and lift the weak. That's not changing. That's just not changing. Amazon has a great series on Lucky Luciano. All right. All right. That makes me, first I get two natural reactions for that. I want to watch it and I want to drink scotch all at the same time. It's kind of hard to say Lucky Luciano without a cup in your hand, right? Kind of hard to say that with some ice at the bottom or something like that. So we got to deal with all of this. Solutions, for sure. India has made me realize we got a gaping hole in the cybersecurity or information security or anything like that in the university, right? Because this isn't a class. This is my daily meeting. Y'all just eavesdropping on what I will be telling the team. I'll come in the office. I say, team, we need to fix these things, right? See, this is not class. This is me running this company, so you get to hear how my brain works and how I'm way over here thinking about these things and all this stuff. And today has been a good testament of that. Expect me to quickly but secretly, this is how I work, Shaker. I'll quickly, but you won't see it, be working on a whole technical side of classes and stuff, right? You'll see it. But it makes sense though, because why would I want Udemy to be in existence? That doesn't make sense. Oh, I wasn't supposed to say that. Why would I want not to be a monopoly? It just doesn't make sense. I don't have a problem with Udemy. and Udemy don't have a problem with me. But the moment I start doing that techie stuff, Udemy would definitely have a problem with me. Because if you want to learn something for cheap in the technical world in a system similar to this, Udemy would be one of those systems. How many of you use Udemy right now or have in the past? I'm interested to know that. One, Udemy. It's Udemy. Okay, we got two. We got from the UK. We got India. We've got Nevada. So that right now, this is 3 different countries and 2 different sides of the world and 3 different continents right there. Okay, add me. And all these, everyone who raised a hand are technical geeks. Look at them. Look at everybody. Look at the people who raise their hand. They all have some form of coding, even if it's rudimentary, right? They can look at some HTML and go, okay. They at least know how to Google HTML code for this and pull up W3 schools or something. They know this stuff, right? They at least copy and paste. They're self-taught in something. All the technical people. So 100% of the technical people on the call know about Udemy. Makes total sense. So the moment that we open that up, we would be in Udemy's lane, right? Makes total sense. As far as the evictions go, how do we save people from evictions? We can't, right? But what we can do is Phil said, what's your backup plan? What's your backup plans, right? You do that. Maybe we can, there's some things we can do. We can have we already got how to dominate a recession. There's some things that we can do to help people. Maybe we should have eviction processes. Maybe I should bring in one of my lawyer friends or somebody and have them teach on the eviction process and how to what are your rights, what are not. I think that would be fantastic, and make that free. Go ahead, Deanna, you want to say something?
That would actually be amazing, because 95% of renters do not know their rights.
Well, write that down for me and send it to me so I can call one of my friends and have them do it. So,
and
Jerry?
there's a ton of free resources for people out there. I know around here anyway, legal aid type things that deal specifically with that too, that probably a lot of people don't even know exist.
Yeah. When it comes to evictions, Nevada and Texas have the same laws. Actually, I believe you're a trust state, and we're a trust state, or we're a deed state. Either way, basically, the banks got us. It's basically how it works in Texas and Nevada. Well, all that whole take 180 days, and then you get to, nope, that don't work like that in Texas and Nevada. Texas, you 3 months behind, bank can start the process, run you out of there. And it just is what it is. And if you 1 month behind and rent, they can start a 30-day process to get you out of there. This is just, Texas is literally the wild, wild west, even though we're in the South. Or Texas is still Texas. It's not going to stop being Texas anytime soon.
They've changed a lot just recently here, but it wasn't long ago that you could get a 3-day notice, and in 7 days you were getting kicked out. They'd bring the constable over.
That's amazing.
And escort you out of the house.
That's amazing.
So, yeah, it's you don't want to get yourself in that position in this state. And like I say, I know they've slowed a lot of that down now with what's gone on, but now the laws are on the side of the bank.
No doubt.
Absolutely.
No doubt. It's just y'all know Nevada for gambling. Nevada ain't too far from Texas. They're just a smarter Texas. It's a smarter Texas. Texas is wonderful, but it's why I keep my businesses here, because it's if you're rich Texas is fantastic, to be honest with you. It's fantastic. It's just fantastic. All right, let's land this plane. I like the constable thing. Oh, well, excuse me. I like the eviction thing. I was thinking constable in my head. I like the, what are your rights in eviction? Yes, ma'am.
If you want to do that eviction lesson on a Tuesday morning, you know I would be happy to listen and take copious notes on that.
Copious notes. You can't wait. I understand.
I will ask questions too. I will.
I don't think you're the only one. I don't think you know. Definitely. Here in the next 5 minutes, we've got a guest that's going to come on, and so y'all jump on the sales training. It's on purpose. It's out. Ask Phil. I always have an agenda. But I want you to see it's about travel and vacations and stuff, but I'll explain on that call. It's a company in motion, and I'll explain on that call, because there's something like, it's travel agency, right? Or it's not travel agency, but kind of like travel agency. Travel advisor. It's like the worst time to do travel advisor, right? But it's also not. And that's kind of what I want to stress in the next 5 minutes. It's also not. The same way I'm saying that come November, evictions are going to be out of control, and I'm doing something about it for other people in June, it's probably the same way you want to approach travel too. Right? You don't plant seeds when it starts raining. You plant seeds in the drought. That's when you plant seeds. Remember that. All right. Well, I think that was extremely productive. Now you see more how my brain works. Take my advice to you, to make this applicable to you, is you should be thinking about your company the way I think about mine. No one is ever going to agree with what you're saying. Let me tell you who are going to disagree with you more than anybody else on planet Earth. The people who were supposed to know well and have been providers of their families. They're going to always disagree with you, because they spent their whole life in a bubble being right. And no one cares. If you want to learn something, check the harvest that flows from that place. Because the one thing you can't ever fake is harvest. Cannot fake harvest. You can fake an opinion. You can fake facial expressions. You can fake a lot. You can fake a voice. Hello, sir. How's it going? You can do all that stuff. What you can't do is fake the harvest that flows from a source. If the harvest is what you desire, shh, pay attention. God's trying to teach you. You don't know everything. Antonio T. Smith Jr., you can plan better. You can dominate. We'll see you in a couple of minutes, everybody. Love you more, Phil. Love you more.